Team Affinity is back, and right now it has arguably the best rewards in MLB The Show 23 Diamond Dynasty. So in this video, we're going to go over what you should do to knock out Team Affinity as quickly as possible. And I believe this should be the fastest and most efficient way of getting Team Affinity done. So if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button down below and subscribe to the channel for more Diamond Dynasty videos. But let's jump right in. And as you guys can see, I haven't really started my Team Affinity grind yet. I've only really been working on the World Baseball Classic program and haven't spent too much time up to this point on the game just in general. But I'm going to start very soon. And I'm going to start off by talking about moments here. So this is the first thing you should do when you hop on Team Affinity and start the grind. Just knock them out. Knock them out of the way. It'll give you 5,000 points, which will unlock this first pack, which I just showed you guys. You'll be able to pick a gold, and you'll be able to pick a diamond player. And all these players you earn throughout the path are going to be key towards missions. Keep that in mind. More on that in a second. But after you do the moments, I would suggest then immediately doing the showdown. So this will get you more progress, more players in the path that you'll need to get missions done for. And what's nice about showdown, and this also goes for conquest for Team Affinity, is that when you complete the central showdown or conquest, it will progress you through both the NL and AL Central Division for Team Affinity. So whether you're doing the showdown or the conquest for the Central, East, or West, once you complete each one, you're basically killing two birds with one stone. But what I would suggest then is after you do the showdown, I would then grind with some of these players you've earned to knock out some of the missions, which makes a lot of sense to do in Conquest. So go ahead and you can knock out the Conquest while also working on these missions. And take a look. There's 3 different types of missions. You got Team Build, you got the Captains you'll earn, the Henchmen you'll earn, and the Team Build will be just any players with that play on any of the teams in the division that you're currently working on. And then obviously, like I said, the players that you've earned throughout the path, make sure to put those guys in your lineup as well to earn all those missions. You might be wondering about doing the exchanges or not, and I would just say save the stubs and do everything else. If you did the exchanges for all of the divisions, it would just get very, very expensive and not worth it, so you might as well skip those. And once you complete everything I just went over with most of the missions, you guys probably will still have a little bit more progress in each of the Team Affinity programs before you max them out. So you can do one of 2 things. One being you can jump into mini seasons to get those vouchers, basically, as you guys can see, to exchange in the program for points while continuing to work on those missions like we mentioned before. The one being the team builds missions, which are repeatable, so that's a key. That's just players from all the divisions. It can be any player from those divisions. And then the other thing you could do otherwise is just over time you can finish off each of the divisions for the programs. And this way you don't have to stress or think about what you need to do to finish off these programs. You can just get it literally from playing the game, because through those team build missions, just at some point you will complete all of those repeatable missions and then just finish off Team Affinity. And I hope I was pretty clear explaining all of that. If you guys have any questions, though, go ahead and comment those down below, and I'll help out. Now, as you guys know, we will earn captains throughout the reward path for Team Affinity. So as far as which captain to pick, I would say just pick captains that have attribute boosts that you think you would actually use. For example, this Corbin Burns right here. So personally, I'm a Brewers fan, so I think it makes sense to pick and use Burns as one of my captains, because I'm going to be making, Brewer-themed teams throughout the year. So having him as my pitching captain, again, you'll have a pitching and a hitting captain. Having Burns as my pitching captain for those themed teams just makes a lot of sense. So he's a good example of someone, of a captain that I would pick. But stay away from captains that you just don't think you would ever use, obviously, or have attribute boosts that just don't really make sense for you to pick. So be smart with those picks. And by the time you complete all of the programs for all of the divisions in Team Affinity, you will have all of the captains and charisma players throughout the reward path. So you might be wondering which charisma players are best. Which should you prioritize? That's obviously your call. You can go with who you want, but I will make some suggestions for each division here, just in case you guys are indecisive or don't know who to pick. So starting off with the AL East, and this division is stacked. You have Stanton, obviously. Stanton could honestly be a great DH in this game. Look at those hitting stats. Basically max power at P2. It's going to be max. Crazy stuff there. And then you obviously got Bo, another great option. You got Devers here, third base, first base. secondary, good option as well. And then, even the other options like Wander is fine. Mullet, you can't do, the point is, you can't go wrong with any of these picks, but I would probably go Devers or Bichette, Stanton if you need a DH. And luckily, we're going to be able to get all of those players because that division specifically is loaded. Moving on to the AL Central. So 2 options here would make sense. Eloy Jimenez right here is the first, just unreal hitting stats. And obviously the fielding and arm are not fantastic, and the speed, 52, whatever, not great. And the other option is Baez. I would maybe go Baez just because he's a shortstop. It's going to be different from a lot of the other options. There's going to be a lot of outfield options, which is what Eloy is. So I would maybe go Baez, but Jimenez isn't a bad choice either. Now the next division is the AL West, and I would lean with this one, Jeremy Pena. Just look at this card. Maxed out speed, maxed out fielding, solid arm, great hitting stats, shortstop, second, third, so you have plenty of options to play them. I would also say for this one, for the AL West, if you're an offline-only player, I would say you could also use Suarez because look at this guy's power, lower contact, but again, if you're offline, that shouldn't be too big of an issue. Third base, first base, shortstop, you probably don't want him at short, I don't know, probably third base, first base, but great hitting stats for him, so obviously could be a great offline kind of guy right there. Now moving on to the NL East, I personally would probably go Acuna, just well-balanced card right here, great arm, fielding, speed, and the hitting stats super well balanced, can play him anywhere in the outfield. But I would also say that our guy Joey over here personally is I don't know, I'd go with him second. I mean, you can't go wrong with either of these options. This is more of a first base, third base kind of guy right here. Probably just first base with how bad the fielding is, but Joey isn't a bad option there either, so you can go him first or Acuna and then vice versa there. NL Central, this division is the weakest probably. I'm a Brewers fan, like I said, but there's no bias right here with going with Yelich. I think he's the clear favorite right here, clear best one out of the NL Central. Just well-balanced card. Really not many weaknesses with this card, and the hitting's always great, his swing is always great, so I would definitely recommend Yelich. Moving on to the final division, and that is the NL West, and notice we haven't mentioned a pitcher yet, but I'm probably going to do that here. Dustin May is an absolute monster. Look at this card, and I would say pick him first just because there's no other really great pitching options in Team Affinity, which is kind of unfortunate, but it is what it is. But great pitch mix right here and good hit per 9. Just really well-balanced card with a great pitch mix. So Dustin May is a great option. If you don't want to go Dustin May or you have your second pick, I would suggest Juan Soto. Very well-balanced card, and 53 speed isn't great. But if you play him, in right field, left field, that shouldn't be too big of an issue this early on in the game. So Soto's not a bad option, but I would lean May first. Jock Peterson, not a bad DH option either. So solid options in this one, in this division. But let me know which players you guys are going for first, which ones you think are best. There's just a ton of amazing options. Like I said, you will get all of these, but I think it is worth prioritizing some. So I hope this part of the video was helpful. Otherwise, I think that should be it for Team Affinity. Like I said before, if you guys have any questions about Team Affinity, go ahead and comment those down below. And also, if you guys have anything else you would like a video on, comment those down below as well. And if you guys haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.